My wife and I buy a lot of softcover notebooks. Well, some hardcover, but we generally tend towards the softcover notebooks, particularly the Midori A5. That is one of my favorite notebooks of all time. I've got a link and a video on that if you're interested here. Part of buying softcover notebooks is that they tend to damage fairly easily, especially if you're rough, as my wife and I tend to be. We toss them around, we've got kids, we throw them into our backpacks or our bags, and so it's really nice to be able to protect your notebook, and that's where beautiful products like this Galen leather A5 slim leather cover, Galen leather being the company name, slim leather being the product name, comes in really handy. That way you can protect your softcover notebook. It can also be used for hardcover notebooks as well, but we like the idea of protecting our softcover notebooks and giving the ability to also add some beautiful aesthetic to your softcover notebooks as well. Good form, good functionality, and today we're going to take a closer look at the Galen Leather A5 slim leather cover. The Galen Leather A5 is absolutely stunning to look at. They come in quite a few different color variations. This is the forest green. There's also a blue, there's a gray, there's a standard English tan, a little bit of a darker brown. If you take a look at their website, which I'll put a link in the description below, there are many, many color variations. Well, I shouldn't say many. There's more than at least 2 color variations. I bought this for my wife actually a few months ago I guess now. This A5 Slim Portfolio is what they call it. The A5 cover here is made out of vegetable tanned cow leather. It is dyed for this color green. It's a standard A5. It's just a touch bigger. Your A5 notebook size typically is right around about 5.7 inches by 8.26 inches. And this cover here is 6.3 inches by 8.6 inches. The cover itself cost me 63 Canadian dollars. You can directly order from Galen Leather, which is what I did. There are a few retailers here in Canada who distribute Galen Leather, Vancouver Pen Shop out of Vancouver, and Wonder Pens out of Toronto cover their products. So if you're local to Canada, you can order through them. And that typically saves you on import and duty fees. 63 Canadian dollars on the Galen Leather website, plus another $20 in shipping. So now we're at 83 Canadian dollars. And then it cost me $20 to import. So $103 for this leather cover, which is fairly comparable when you take a look at leather product suppliers and around. You're always hovering around that $100 mark, give or take. Set at base value, 63 Canadian dollars or 46 US dollars. Shipping, I'm not sure because I don't live in the US, and I'm not sure if there's any special import duties specifically to the US as well. So just keep that in mind. And the shipping and duties that I paid was through FedEx. Perhaps there's a way to get around it. I think I've been reading about this recently where folks on the internet have created strategies to get around that. So just maybe Google that. If you happen to be traveling through Turkey and are able to stop by Galen Leather, then that is a great opportunity to save some dollars if you are there and taking advantage of that. I love the company Galen Leather. I've got a couple of their products already, which I've talked about in the past. Here's a pocket traveler's notebook insert, which I use as a wallet on its own. And the other A5 product that I have here is a leather portfolio. Quality leather products. This is the honey ochre version, by the way. This is the standard English tan, and this is the rainforest green, or forest green. Let's take a look at the actual cover here. Here's one of our standard favorite notebooks, which is a Midori A5. Now I'm going to take a few things out of the notebook here for my wife. Just set it to the side so we can just take a look at the cover. So it's fairly thin, very slim. It's really meant to be just a sleeve, a beautiful leather sleeve for your notebook. There's a tiny bit of give on the leather compared to a standard A5 size, as I've described here, but not by much, as you can see. So it really is meant to be giving you a snug. Here's a Leuchtturm, which is a hardcover. I'm going to see if we can actually get this in. It might be quite tight, but let's give it a whirl. So it can fit hardcover A5s as well, as you can clearly see. Snugger. Both hardcover and softcover work. It is snugger definitely on the hardcover here. A couple of business card slots on either side. Sleeve and a sleeve. Now there's two ways you can use these notebook covers. You can put the flaps in on both sides, or you can leave the front flap out. And that gives you the ability to just have an extra sleeve here. It's hand stitched, and you can get it personalized if you order directly from Galen Leather for an extra 20 Canadian dollars or 14 US dollars. You can put your initials or your name or something else. I think it's actually just lettering, so it's just probably your name or initials or some sort of written reference that you would like engraved into your leather cover here. Now this pen loop is quite brilliant actually. It's one of the things I love about Galen Leather. Pen loop here is expandable. It's quite generous, as you can tell. So you can fit quite a number of varieties of pen barrel diameters. One of the largest pen barrel diameters that we own is the ST here. What I like about these pen loops is that it expands. So there's some elastic fabric here, and then there's the leather portion on the other side. So it gives it that seamless look, but also the flexibility of expanding it to fit your different writing instrument diameters there. I really like the look of that. We'll go ahead and put my wife's notebook back in. Now. So yeah, using it with just the back cover inside the sleeve here gives you an extra pocket for ephemera and things like that, as my wife has done. Or you can keep the sleeve inside as well. And voila. Now, one thing to note is that this pen loop obviously wants to stay in. It's not designed to flap right out. So just a minor annoyance, if anything. You'll notice that the notebook is right up against your pen loop. You're always gonna just want to tuck that pen to the side and then put your cover in, and that gives it that seamless look. If I weren't doing that, then here, let's show it a different way. As you can see, here's the pen loop tucked in against the notebook. Now, if I were to just let it naturally flip back, you can see that pen loop is actually adding a little bit of width or depth. So you just want to always tuck that pen loop out of the way so that it rests seamlessly. Again, I'll just show it from this angle here. There it is, pop back in. And you can tell this front cover is a little bit tipped up. So whenever you're closing it, just make sure that pen loop's off to the side. Now, obviously you're going to be writing with it. The nice thing about the pen loop is when you are writing with it, you can tuck that back in, push it out either way, just keep that in mind. And sliding in your pen after the fact might just take care of that anyways. Now, is it worth it for the shipping plus duties and import plus the actual price? I think so. I think it's fairly comparable to a lot of leather products. You can tell it's very high quality. It's going to last. I like the fact that, like all the Galen leather products, it delivers a little bit of character over time. So you'll get little scuffs and scratches and things like that. And this will patina into a nice smooth gloss as well over time, much like the honey ochre over here. And then my passport. You can see the shine compared to the brand new leather product in the background, and the patina on these new ones, which are more well loved and well used. Again, I'll put the links into the description below with respect to where you might be able to find it from local distributors. I'm not sure where you can pick it up in the US, but I am convinced that if you just Google it in the US, you'll be able to find a stationery shop or distributor who sells the Galen leather products. I know for a fact that they're also at the DC pen show every year. So that's a consideration if you happen to be living in that area. You can pick it up from them directly at the pen show, and I know they bring boxes of their products. My wife really likes her cover, her leather cover here. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, she gets daily use out of this, so it gets a lot of use. It's been on the floor a couple times, owing to our kids being curious, potentially not realizing that it's under their elbow at the dining table and things like that. And it's very clearly stood the test of time, at least in a couple months. And if it's like any of my other Galen leather products, it'll develop a beautiful patina, which I talked about, and also just a lot of good character. I recommend it. I really like these products here. There are many options out there for notebook covers. Leather is what I tend to gravitate towards. I love the character, the rich patina that develops over time, the weight, the feel, the texture. Leather seems to really resonate with me. There are soft cloth versions out there as well, canvas and things like that. I'm curious, what do you use for your notebook covers? Leave a comment below and let me know. Also, I'm curious if you do have the Galen leather A5 slim leather cover, what you think of it. Leave a comment below. If you like this video, please consider clicking on the like and subscribe buttons below. Take care, have a wonderful day, and bye for now.